So I just wanted to give my little 2 cents on this whole thing about Capcom being sued and accused of plagiarism. Now, I'm not going to talk about the Frankenstein's army thing because I think there might be a bit of weight to that. I'm not an expert in copyright law or anything, or intellectual property law, but I feel like that taking slightly modifying designs from a movie, if that was that person's original design who made that movie, is arguably more dirty than what they're actually being currently sued for. The whole, stealing supposedly photographs from this photographer's book called Surfaces that came out in like 1990 or whatever, from what people are saying. So, like, oh my God, look at these side by side comparisons. It's so obvious. Like, especially with the Resident Evil 4 logo. You look at, the logo, the way like it's cracked on the floor, and where you see it in the logo, like, oh my God, it's a blatant ripoff. How could they? Well, but here's the thing though. Um, this woman took these photographs of real world architecture, architectural designs. I'm not saying she doesn't own those photographs. She definitely does because she took them. She published a book when she says that Capcom, they never approached me, to do a licensing deal. Well, that's the thing. Capcom didn't use her photographs. By that I mean they didn't use used her book as a source, as an artistic source, and apparently that's what she intended the book to be used for. I think she's an opportunist. I mean, some people are saying, why'd she wait long? She's not a gamer, but I think she's an opportunist. I mean, she wants fucking all this money, 2,500 to 25,000 per image used per release. Like, you're gonna get a big payout. I mean, who knows? They might settle out of the court because she's lucky. Lucky that what she owns are direct, up close surface images, hence the title of her book, of these architectural designs. Designs that she didn't create, she didn't build, she didn't write a blueprint and have these things made. She took photos of them. Her wanting to sue Capcom for plagiarism is essentially an architect suing her for taking those photos, suing people for taking photos of their buildings. But there's a limit to what you can say is plagiarism, what is owned versus what is transformative art, because again, there really is a finite amount of shit we can come up with. There really is. Like, and that's why we have things like public domain. But point being is that she owns the photographs. Capcom did not use her photographs. They used the things that she took photographs of. And what she took photographs of, there's no way you could use here's the thing. Could have Capcom have altered these things instead of just like blatantly using things from real world if for their fictional world? Sure. But it's not plagiarism. You can call it cheap. That I think you could call it that. Sort of how like that movie Repo Men was a cheap Hollywood knockoff of a much better film called Repo the Genetic Opera. But it's they changed enough. They took concepts. That's just the way the world works. If you say that if you can just copyright themes or hell dances, walking, you can't. Then that destroys art. It's like how people are pissed off that these gaming companies are copywriting mechanics. We're getting to that territory, and everyone's upset about it. But yet, everyone's like, Capcom, they're stealing for some artists. Well, that's the same thing. If you don't want to stifle art by letting people copyright mechanics in video games, then you have to be more lenient on what is considered plagiarism. There's a difference between something being directly copied and something being sourced. And her photographs are a source because she didn't. I can't. I can't really dumb it down easy enough. She took the photos. She didn't create the things she took the photos of. Plain and fucking simple.